Hi everyone, Mercedes here, and I am the proud mommy to 3 kiddos and a baby on the way. Our oldest, Sunflower, she has Down syndrome, and we've had her since she was 3 days old. Is the reason that I am here talking to all of you about our adoption story. She's our oldest and she's adopted, and she is our golden girl. Because after her, we have 3 boys. We have 2 boys that are here with us now and a 3rd baby boy who's in my belly. So she reigns as queen in our household, and she wears that like a crown. Thank you, Arrow and Root, for having us on your stories so we could tell our story. My husband, Andy, and I decided to adopt 3 years into our marriage. We are 9 years in just this past June. Through, all I could say is just God. God led us to Sunflower. I've always known in my heart that I wanted to adopt. And when we got married, during premarital counseling, I was like, hey, Andy, I've hinted to this and we've talked about it, but I'm really serious. Like, I want to adopt in my lifetime. And he was on board. So check, both on board, adoption. Previously, from in my 20s, all the way through my 20s, I worked within the special needs community. So from age 18 to 28, I was heavily invested in that community, which ultimately led to when I approached Andy about adopting. I also said, what do you think about adopting a child with Down syndrome? And he wasn't surprised at all that I said this, because I have quite a few adult friends with Down syndrome who I love dearly and are near and dear to my heart, and that he has met and fallen in love with also. So like I said, he was not surprised, but he did take a day to think about it, and that's all it took was a day, and he was like, let's do it. So that was really fun and exciting. It took a couple of adoption agencies before we decided where we would land on, and we went into it back then foster to adopt, and the agency we went through, you only had to do one process to be accepted for either private adoption or for a foster adopt situation. So that was kind of a blessing, because I think it might have changed now. And we're in California, in Orange County. So we found a spot right up the street from me, and we pursued that. Once our home study was done, we got in touch with the National Down Syndrome Adoption Network. They're amazing. Stephanie is amazing, and they are placing a lot of children, beautiful children with Down syndrome, into lovely, wonderful homes. So if you are considering adopting a child with Down syndrome, definitely make yourself known to the National Down Syndrome Adoption Network. So from the beginning, we knew in the process that we wanted a baby. So we wanted a baby under 1. We were open to a boy or girl. And my husband and I are both mixed race. So he is Caucasian and Filipino, and I'm African American and Peruvian. So we felt like in this adoption process, between the both of us, we would have covered a wide range of different ethnicities. So any child that we brought into our home, we felt like we could kind of speak into their identity a little bit, if that makes sense. So when we got the call about Sunflower, it was, man, we had finished our home study, and it was like 2 weeks after that we got a call about her. And Stephanie called us up. I remember being at a breakfast. I was at breakfast with 2 of my best friends in San Clemente, and I got the call. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to get this. So I got the call, and she said, there's a brand new baby girl that's been born, and are you interested in sending over your profile? I didn't even ask my husband yet. I was like, yes. She had me at newborn and baby girl. I mean, done and done. So she sent it over, and the next day we had gotten the call that we'd been chosen, and we drove up to San Jose, which is 8 hours away from us, and we picked up Sunflower. And the whole thing is a whirlwind and I feel like so many of you parents know this, it's just the whole process is a miracle. There are times of like waiting and you're just like so confused. I know in our process, there was one baby girl, she was a little bit over a year, who had a lot of medical situations and medical conditions that kind of scared my husband and I'll admit that. And we ended up saying no to her, but God totally, and I was scared about that. I'm like, oh my gosh, how do I say no? I know what I want to adopt. And, but I also had peace about it. My husband and I both had peace about it. And I'm now really good friends with her mom, and we meet up sometimes, and her daughter and Sunflower are friends. And it was just so where we needed to be was with Sunny, and where this beautiful baby girl needed to be was with her family. And so that's been cool. And then there was another boy that we actually weren't chosen for. And now I go on family vacations with them. So the adoption world is so crazy, and God makes it clear, at least in our case, we felt like God made it clear the road we needed to go down and then the roads that we needed to step away from. So definitely, I think, open your heart, open your mind, and get on the same page with your spouse of of how you want to move forward. And in the process of adoption, especially in adopting a child with special needs, there are a lot of different fears and a lot of different unknowns, and that's just going to be reality. When you have a child with a different ability, there's just a lot of unknowns, but there is also a lot of support. And it's so crazy, but Instagram, social media has been an amazing tool for support for moms and dads who are raising a child with a different ability. So just know that if you are interested in adopting a child with Down syndrome, you are going to be fully supported. I can tell you of a million bazillion awesome different nonprofits, groups, communities out there that are waiting and willing with open arms to welcome you into the family. So definitely don't let loneliness or fear keep you from doing a desire of your heart, which may be adopting a child with Down syndrome. Also, some families could feel nervous about adopting a child of a different race than them. And for Andy and I, since we do come both from mixed race homes, that wasn't really a fear for us, or really wasn't a concern for us. So I don't know how to really speak into that, other than it's only as big as you make it. I don't know if that makes sense. Sunflower, it's easy for me because Andy's mom is Caucasian, she's white, she's German, and some other European. I gotta find that out. And Sunflower is almost like 100% Danish. But I also live in an area where there's a lot of people around that look like her, and that I'm actually the minority. So for us, I think we see the diversity struggle